Beloved friends, today I want to speak to you about a truth that can transform the way you see your life, your purpose, and your calling. The truth is simple yet profound. God's hand is guarding you. Yes, even in the storms, even when life seems uncertain, His divine protection surrounds you. And not only that, He has set you apart for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Today I want to share with you 7 unmistakable signs that you are set apart by God. One of the clearest signs that God has set you apart is the experience of divine favor, even in the most difficult seasons of life. Divine favor is not just a fleeting moment of luck or coincidence. It is a tangible expression of God's grace, a supernatural covering that ensures His purposes in your life are fulfilled. People who are set apart often notice that even when circumstances seem bleak, they are provided for, guided, and protected in ways that go beyond human understanding. This favor is visible in the way opportunities come at the perfect time, how relationships align to support your goals, and how obstacles are often removed or softened in your path. Unlike ordinary success that comes through human effort alone, divine favor is a gift from God that surrounds you, even when you may feel unworthy or unprepared. It is His way of affirming that your life has a purpose, that you are chosen, and that He is actively working on your behalf, even when you cannot see it. Experiencing divine favor often begins with small, seemingly insignificant moments. Perhaps a situation that should have been difficult turns out to be easier than expected, or an answer to a prayer comes in an unexpected form. These moments are God's way of showing you that He is with you, watching over your steps, and guiding your journey. Over time, these small instances build into a consistent pattern, revealing a larger truth that your life is not left to chance. When you recognize these patterns, your faith deepens because you begin to see God's hand at work in every detail of your life. Divine favor is like a quiet, constant current, moving beneath the surface of your daily experiences, lifting you forward and ensuring that the path He has chosen for you is clear. Moreover, divine favor does not necessarily mean that life will be free from challenges. In fact, God's favor often shines brightest during trials and difficult seasons. For those set apart, challenges do not define failure. They become opportunities to witness God's provision and protection. When others might be overwhelmed by obstacles, those who are under God's favor often find solutions, guidance, or a sudden breakthrough. This is because favor is not merely about avoiding problems. It is about receiving supernatural wisdom, strength, and direction to navigate them successfully. Even in moments when it seems like the world is against you, God's favor provides shield, ensuring that your efforts are fruitful and that His plans for your life are not thwarted. It is a spiritual safeguard, a divine insurance that your destiny is not left to random circumstances or human limitations. Experiencing divine favor also manifests in relationships and connections. People who are set apart often find that key relationships are orchestrated by God to help them fulfill their purpose. Mentors, partners, friends, and even strangers may appear at just the right time to provide guidance, support, or opportunity. This alignment is not coincidence, it is a reflection of God's intentionality in your life. Being set apart often means that doors will open that others cannot even see, and resources will become available at the precise moment they are needed. Favor makes the impossible possible and brings the right people and circumstances together to ensure God's plan unfolds seamlessly. Recognizing divine favor requires a heart that is attuned to God's presence. It is easy to overlook blessings when we focus only on what seems ordinary or when life's pressures dominate our attention. Those who are set apart learn to discern God's subtle movements and to trust that even when things do not make sense, He is orchestrating events for their good. This awareness cultivates gratitude, faith, and perseverance, allowing you to move through life with confidence, knowing that you are protected, guided, and favored by a higher power. Ultimately, divine favor is a sign of God's personal involvement in your life. It tells you that you are chosen, set apart, and under His protection. It is a constant reminder that your life is not ordinary but is destined for extraordinary purposes. Favor is both a gift and a responsibility. It is given to empower you to fulfill the calling that God has placed upon you. Recognizing and embracing this favor allows you to step forward boldly, trusting that God's hand is upon you and that no obstacle can derail the path He has designed for your life. It is the unmistakable mark of someone set apart. Even when the world seems against you, divine favor ensures that you will succeed, thrive, and fulfill your God-given destiny. Another unmistakable sign that God has set you apart is the deep and compelling draw toward prayer and intimacy with Him. This is more than a casual habit or a routine activity. It is a spiritual calling that comes from the heart of God, inviting you into His presence and opening the pathway for divine guidance, protection, and empowerment. Those who are set apart often feel an unexplainable pull to seek God, to spend time in quiet reflection, and to communicate with Him earnestly. It is in these moments of prayer that the foundation for their destiny is laid, as God begins to mold, strengthen, and direct their lives. Prayer becomes not just a practice, but a lifeline, a vital connection through which the Spirit of God flows and shapes every aspect of your journey. Prayer and intimacy with God are critical indicators that you are set apart because they reveal a heart that is attuned to the divine. While many people may occasionally pray out of habit or necessity, those who are chosen by God often find themselves naturally seeking His counsel and presence. This is not forced or superficial. It is a genuine desire to align with His will and to experience the guidance that comes only from Him. In a world full of distractions, this draw toward God serves as a spiritual compass, guiding you through decisions, relationships, and challenges. The more you respond to this call, the stronger your spiritual connection becomes, and the more clearly you can discern God's plans for your life. Intimacy with God through prayer also produces a sense of peace, confidence, and purpose. When you engage in heartfelt communication with God, you begin to recognize His voice, understand His timing, and feel His presence in a tangible way. This is significant because those who are set apart are often tasked with extraordinary responsibilities or assignments that require supernatural wisdom and strength. Through prayer, God equips you with the spiritual insight and resilience needed to navigate challenges and fulfill your calling. The ability to hear God's direction and to act on it is a hallmark of someone who is under His special protection and guidance. Furthermore, prayer shapes your character and refines your spirit. It is not merely about asking for blessings or protection, but about building a relationship with the Creator who sees the end from the beginning. In these moments of intimacy, your faith is strengthened, your humility is cultivated, and your trust in God deepens. Those who are set apart are often tested in ways that refine their hearts, and prayer is the means by which they receive encouragement, wisdom, and fortitude. Through consistent communion with God, you develop a spiritual sensitivity that allows you to navigate life with discernment, avoiding pitfalls and recognizing opportunities that others may overlook. Another dimension of intimacy with God is the ability to intercede for others and to carry a spiritual burden beyond yourself. Those who are set apart often feel compelled to pray, not only for their own needs, but for the needs of their families, communities, and even nations. This intercessory calling demonstrates a heart aligned with God's purposes, one that participates in His work on earth. Such a burden is both a sign and a responsibility. It shows that God is preparing you for greater influence, equipping you to be a channel of His grace, provision, and protection in the lives of others. Prayer, in this sense, becomes a powerful tool through which God manifests His plans and brings about transformation in the world around you. It is also important to recognize that the draw toward prayer and intimacy with God is often accompanied by a sense of peace, guidance, and clarity that surpasses human understanding. Even when situations appear chaotic or overwhelming, those who are set apart find comfort and direction in their relationship with God. This spiritual alignment provides the assurance that God is actively involved in every detail of their lives, orchestrating events to bring about His perfect plan. The more you cultivate this intimacy, the more attuned you become to the subtle movements of God's hand. which is crucial for walking in the purpose and destiny He has prepared for you. Ultimately, being drawn to prayer and intimacy with God is a divine sign that you are set apart for something extraordinary. It demonstrates that your life is under His supervision, that you are equipped with spiritual discernment, and that you are being prepared for a unique calling. Those who recognize and respond to this divine pull experience a transformation in their lives. They gain wisdom, strength, and clarity, and they are able to navigate challenges with confidence and faith. Prayer is not just a spiritual practice. It is the lifeblood of those whom God has chosen, the medium through which His protection, guidance, and favor are continually poured into their lives. By embracing this calling, you step into a deeper relationship with God, one that marks you as set apart and prepares you to fulfill the extraordinary purpose He has designed for you. A powerful sign that God has set you apart is your growing awareness of divine timing in your life. This is the understanding that events, opportunities, and circumstances often unfold with a precision that cannot be explained by chance or human effort alone. People who are set apart begin to notice that things happen just in time, that solutions appear when they are most needed, and that doors open precisely when the right moment arrives. This awareness is not merely a coincidence or luck. It is a reflection of God's meticulous orchestration and His intimate involvement in your life. Those who are chosen by Him start to recognize that there is a spiritual order behind what may seem like random events, and that He is carefully arranging each detail to fulfill His divine purposes. Divine timing is an unmistakable marker of God's hand at work. When you are set apart, you may find that even when things seem delayed or uncertain, the outcomes arrive in perfect alignment with God's plan. Opportunities that seemed impossible suddenly manifest. Relationships and resources align in the right way, and solutions to pressing problems appear when they are most necessary. This is not a product of human planning or effort, but of God's deliberate intervention. It requires patience and discernment to recognize, because divine timing often does not match our personal schedules or expectations. However, learning to trust in it is a critical aspect of being set apart. God's timing is always perfect, and understanding this allows you to move through life with confidence and faith, knowing that your steps are guided and your path is secure. Those who experience divine timing often notice that their lives are punctuated by moments of sudden clarity and alignment. Situations that once seemed confusing or insurmountable resolve themselves with uncanny precision. Perhaps a critical opportunity appears at the exact moment it is needed, or a challenge is removed just before it could cause significant harm. These moments, when observed consistently, are unmistakable signs that God is orchestrating your life with care and intentionality. Divine timing is not random. It is a testimony to God's faithfulness and to the fact that your life is under His personal supervision. The more you learn to recognize these moments, the more your faith deepens, and the more you are able to step confidently into the plans He has prepared for you. Furthermore, divine timing often teaches patience and perseverance. Many people struggle because they attempt to force their plans or achieve their goals according to their own timing rather than God's. Those who are set apart learn that rushing ahead can disrupt God's plan, while waiting with faith aligns them with His purpose. During periods of waiting, God is often preparing your heart, refining your character, and arranging circumstances in a way that will maximize the impact of His plan. Recognizing the signs of divine timing helps you understand that even delays and obstacles are not setbacks. They are part of a larger design meant to position you perfectly for the next phase of your journey. This awareness of divine timing also fosters discernment. When you begin to see patterns in how God orchestrates events, you become more attuned to His voice and guidance. You start to notice subtle indicators that a moment is right to act, that a decision aligns with God's plan, or that a relationship or opportunity is divinely appointed. This sensitivity to timing is a spiritual gift, equipping you to navigate life with precision and wisdom. Those who are set apart recognize that acting too early or too late can hinder God's purposes, and they learn to rely on His guidance for every decision. Moreover, divine timing demonstrates God's faithfulness and provision. It reassures you that you are not alone, that He is intimately involved in your journey, and that nothing happens outside of His knowledge or plan. Each perfectly timed event is a reminder that your life is protected, guided, and shaped by a power greater than any circumstance or human effort. This realization fosters a deep sense of security, peace, and confidence, knowing that your steps are directed by God and that every season of your life has a purpose. Ultimately, the awareness of divine timing is a spiritual hallmark of someone set apart. It reveals that your life is not random, that God is actively orchestrating every detail, and that He is preparing you for a destiny that is uniquely yours. Recognizing and embracing divine timing allows you to move forward with faith, patience, and confidence, trusting that God's plan is perfect and that He is guiding you every step of the way. Those who understand and respond to this truth find themselves walking in alignment with their calling, experiencing opportunities, protection, and breakthroughs exactly when they are needed. Divine timing is God's signature on your life, a clear sign that you are chosen, set apart, and under His vigilant care. Another unmistakable sign that God has set you apart is the deep and often overwhelming sense of compassion and a calling to serve others. Those who are chosen by God are not called to live for themselves alone. They carry within their hearts a divine burden to make a positive impact on the lives of people around them. This is not merely an interest in helping others or performing occasional acts of kindness. It is a persistent spiritual prompting that drives you to seek ways to bless, encourage, and uplift those in need. When you feel this strong inclination to serve, it is evidence that God is preparing you for a purpose greater than personal achievement, guiding you to fulfill a destiny that benefits not just you, but others and the world at large. Being drawn to serve is often accompanied by a heightened sensitivity to the needs of people around you. You may notice struggles, pain, or opportunities for encouragement that others overlook. This awareness is not accidental. It is a sign that God is opening your heart and eyes to the spiritual responsibility that comes with being set apart. Those who are chosen to serve often find that their empathy goes beyond natural compassion. They are moved to pray for people, to intercede on their behalf, and to take action that brings tangible relief or encouragement. It is as though God has placed a mirror in your heart, reflecting the burdens of others and compelling you to respond with love, wisdom, and initiative. The calling to serve also often intersects with your natural talents and abilities. God equips those He sets apart with gifts that are meant to impact others. Your skills, knowledge, and unique experiences become tools through which you can bless people and fulfill your divine purpose. While some may view their abilities as personal assets, those set apart recognize that these gifts are entrusted to them for a higher purpose. When you embrace this calling, you begin to see opportunities to use your talents in ways that not only fulfill God's will, but also bring transformation to the lives of others. This alignment of ability and purpose is a hallmark of a life that is under God's direction. Furthermore, the desire to serve often requires a willingness to step out of comfort zones. God's plan frequently involves challenges, sacrifices, and perseverance. Those set apart are not deterred by the difficulties inherent in serving others. Instead, they see these challenges as part of God's refining process. Trials that come with service teach patience, strengthen character, and cultivate humility. The more you respond to this call with obedience and faith, the more God shapes your life for impact. Service becomes not just an action, but a spiritual discipline through which you grow closer to Him while simultaneously fulfilling His purposes on earth. Service is also deeply connected to influence and leadership in a spiritual sense. When you serve others faithfully, you begin to build a legacy of impact. People are drawn to those who genuinely care, and God uses your acts of compassion to inspire, teach, and guide others. This influence is a natural extension of being set apart, as God equips you to be a channel of His love and wisdom. Serving others allows you to become a conduit for God's blessings, not only meeting immediate needs, but also planting seeds that can grow into long-term transformation. It is through service that you demonstrate that being set apart is not about personal gain, but about advancing God's kingdom on earth. Additionally, the calling to serve is often accompanied by spiritual confirmation. God affirms those He sets apart through answered prayers, opportunities to help others, and moments where your actions bring unexpected breakthroughs. These confirmations strengthen your faith, encourage perseverance, and provide a sense of divine direction. Over time, the repeated experience of serving and seeing God work through your efforts builds confidence that you are walking in His plan. This awareness is both humbling and empowering, reinforcing the understanding that your life is under His care and guided by a higher purpose. Ultimately, the call to serve is a defining sign of someone set apart by God. It reveals that your life is not meant for mediocrity or self-interest, but for meaningful impact and divine purpose. Compassion and service are the tools through which God shapes your character, equips you with spiritual insight, and positions you to fulfill His calling. When you respond to this calling with faith, love, and obedience, you begin to experience the fullness of life that comes from being aligned with God's will. Serving others is both a privilege and a responsibility, and it is one of the clearest ways that God demonstrates His hand in your life, marking you as chosen, protected, and set apart for His glory. Another clear sign that God has set you apart is the remarkable ability to overcome trials with resilience. Life will inevitably present challenges, obstacles, and moments of adversity. But those who are set apart demonstrate a unique strength that allows them to rise above difficulties rather than be consumed by them. This resilience is not simply a matter of personal determination or mental toughness. It is a spiritual attribute cultivated by God, a reflection of His presence and protection in your life. Being set apart means that even in the face of circumstances that could break others, you are equipped to endure, persevere, and ultimately thrive. It is through these trials that your character is refined, your faith deepens, and your destiny is fortified. The experience of overcoming challenges often begins with a shift in perspective. Those who are chosen by God do not view trials as punishments or random misfortunes. Instead, they understand that hardships serve a higher purpose. They are opportunities for growth, refinement, and preparation for the assignments God has in store. When adversity comes, it is an invitation to trust in God's wisdom, to rely on His strength, and to lean fully on His guidance. This perspective allows you to navigate difficulties with calmness and confidence, knowing that your life is under divine supervision. It transforms trials from moments of despair into stepping stones toward the fulfillment of your purpose. Resilience in the context of being set apart also involves a recognition of God's sovereignty. You understand that no matter how overwhelming a challenge may seem, God is in control and nothing escapes His notice. This awareness provides a profound sense of peace amidst chaos, reinforcing the truth that you are not facing struggles alone. The Spirit of God equips you with the endurance and courage necessary to confront obstacles head-on, ensuring that these difficulties ultimately work together for your good. This kind of resilience is a hallmark of someone who is under God's hand, as it demonstrates both dependence on His power and alignment with His will. Moreover, the ability to overcome trials often includes a learning process. Every challenge presents lessons about faith, patience, humility, and perseverance. Those who are set apart recognize that these lessons are essential for spiritual growth. The trials you face are not merely tests of endurance. They are formative experiences designed to prepare you for greater responsibilities and opportunities in God's kingdom. By embracing challenges as tools for refinement, you develop wisdom and strength that will serve you in future endeavors, enabling you to navigate life with clarity and discernment. Resilience also manifests in the ability to inspire and support others. When you face adversity with faith and courage, you become a living example of God's sustaining power. Others witness your ability to endure and overcome, and your life becomes a testimony that encourages and strengthens those around you. God often sets apart individuals not only to fulfill personal destinies, but also to be a source of hope and inspiration to others. Your resilience, therefore, becomes both a personal blessing and a ministry, allowing you to impact lives through your testimony of triumph and faithfulness. Importantly, overcoming trials requires a balance of perseverance and surrender. Those who are set apart learn to work diligently in challenging situations while simultaneously entrusting the outcomes to God. This balance ensures that you are active participants in your journey, but remain dependent on His guidance and intervention. Surrendering to God does not mean passivity. It means recognizing that His ways are higher and His plans are perfect. In doing so, you navigate challenges with a sense of purpose and confidence, knowing that every obstacle you face is part of a divine design. Ultimately, the ability to overcome trials with resilience is a definitive sign that you are set apart. It demonstrates that you are under God's protection, that He is shaping your character, and that your life is destined for extraordinary purposes. Through resilience, your faith is strengthened, your wisdom is deepened, and your capacity to fulfill God's calling is enhanced. Those who are chosen by God do not merely survive challenges, they thrive through them, becoming vessels of His power, witnesses of His faithfulness, and instruments of His glory. The trials you face are not meant to break you, they are meant to mark you as a person set apart, prepared, and empowered to accomplish the unique destiny God has prepared for you. A powerful sign that God has set you apart is the growing awareness of spiritual realities, an insight and sensitivity that goes beyond what the natural eye can see. Those who are chosen by God often begin to perceive the unseen workings of His kingdom and the subtle movements of spiritual forces around them. This awareness is not born of human intellect, but of the Spirit of God awakening discernment in your life. It allows you to understand circumstances, people, and events from a higher perspective, seeing the spiritual significance behind what might otherwise appear ordinary. This sensitivity is a clear indication that you are being prepared for a divine purpose, equipped with the insight necessary to navigate life according to God's will. Being attuned to spiritual realities often manifests as a heightened sense of discernment. You may begin to notice things that others overlook, the intentions behind actions, the influence of the enemy, or the timing of God's interventions. This discernment is crucial for those set apart because it protects, guides, and positions you for the assignments God has prepared. It enables you to recognize when to act, when to wait, and when to speak, aligning your decisions with God's plan. Over time, this sensitivity becomes a spiritual compass, helping you navigate challenges, relationships, and opportunities with confidence and wisdom. Another aspect of this awareness is the recognition of God's presence in daily life. Those who are set apart often sense His guidance, provision, and protection in ways that are undeniable. You may experience promptings in prayer, sudden insights, or an unexplainable peace that assures you of His hand over your circumstances. These experiences reinforce the understanding that your life is not left to chance, and they cultivate a deeper trust in God's plan. The ability to perceive spiritual realities allows you to engage with life more intentionally, responding not only to what is visible, but also to what God is doing behind the scenes. This spiritual awareness also brings responsibility. When God opens your eyes to the realities of His kingdom, He calls you to act in alignment with His purposes. You become sensitive to injustice, oppression, and the needs of others, and you feel compelled to intercede, minister, and take action when necessary. Those set apart often carry a burden to pray for others, to guide and to influence situations for the sake of God's kingdom. This is a defining characteristic of a life under divine guardianship, the ability to see beyond the physical and participate actively in the spiritual battle that surrounds every human experience. Being aware of spiritual realities also strengthens your faith. As you perceive God's workings, you begin to trust Him more deeply, understanding that His plans are perfect and His timing impeccable. You learn to rely less on human solutions and more on His guidance, recognizing that the invisible forces of his kingdom are constantly at work in your life. This awareness nurtures patience, humility, and perseverance as you realize that what may seem delayed or unclear to the natural eye is part of a divine pattern unfolding according to God's will. Moreover, this heightened perception helps you discern and avoid spiritual pitfalls. Those who are set apart often sense dangers, temptations, deceptions, or negative influences before they manifest fully. This protective insight is a direct manifestation of God's hand over your life, ensuring that you remain on the path He has ordained. The more attuned you become to these realities, the more equipped you are to navigate life's complexities with wisdom, avoiding unnecessary harm and remaining steadfast in your calling. Ultimately, the awareness of spiritual realities is a hallmark of someone set apart. It signifies that you are being prepared for a life of purpose, equipped with discernment and guided by God's Spirit. Those who recognize this sign are able to walk in alignment with divine wisdom, participate in God's work on earth, and influence situations for His glory. It is both a gift and a responsibility, a sign that your life is under God's vigilant care and that He is positioning you for extraordinary assignments. By embracing this sensitivity, you step fully into the calling for which you were chosen, experiencing the fullness of God's guidance, protection, and anointing in every area of your life. In conclusion, beloved, the signs we have explored today are clear indicators that God's hand is guarding you and that you are set apart for a divine purpose. From the experience of divine favor in every season, to the compelling draw toward prayer and intimacy with God, to the awareness of His perfect timing, each sign is a reminder that your life is not left to chance. The call to serve others, the resilience to overcome trials, and the spiritual discernment to perceive unseen realities, all of these reveal a life under God's careful guidance, a life destined for impact and glory. Being set apart is both a privilege and a responsibility. It is a call to trust, to obey, and to walk in alignment with God's will, even when the path seems uncertain. It is a reminder that the challenges you face are refining you, that the opportunities before you are divinely orchestrated, and that the gifts you carry are meant to bless others and advance His kingdom. God's protection is not passive. It is active, guiding every step, preparing every heart, and orchestrating every circumstance in your favor. So, embrace these signs with faith. Let them encourage you in seasons of doubt, strengthen you in times of trial, and inspire you to walk boldly in the destiny God has designed for you. Know this: you are chosen, you are protected, and you are set apart. Your life carries a purpose that is uniquely yours, and no force, seen or unseen, can derail the plan of God over your life. Step forward with confidence, walk in His presence daily, and allow His hand to guide, protect, and anoint you for every assignment He has prepared. Remember, God's hand is not only guarding you, it is preparing you, equipping you, and setting you apart for a life of extraordinary impact. Walk in it, trust in it, and let your life be a testimony of His unfailing love, power, and glory. You are chosen. You are protected. You are set apart.